All right, now it's time to create the method to send the chat message. In the last time video, we created this bottom chat widget. Okay, so also we forgot in the chat screen here, because we are passing the chat provider. We know that here we are returning the consumer, so we can simply pass the chat provider here, which will be our chat provider, which comes from here. Okay, let's paste that, and then we need to remove this constant keyword. Okay, great. Now let's create a method to send the message to Gemini and then also get the reply. Okay, so let's go to chat provider here, and then down here let's create the method to send the message. Okay, so let's say send message to Gemini and get the let's say streamed response. Okay, don't forget we haven't created the setters for this. Okay, maybe before this let's just create setters. Okay, so first let's see what. Okay, so this is set in chat messages. Is just going to set these messages like that, but this is not how we want to set it, because this method is going to require more, because we're going to get the messages from database and then setting them to in-chat messages. Okay, so this is not how we are going to set the messages. Let's create this method properly. So first of all, it's going to be a future method, so let me remove this, and then let's just put a comment set in messages. Okay, so here what we're going to do is, this is going to be a future method, so it's a void method, and then let's go it set in chat messages. So here we're going to require a chat ID, because we're going to need the ID of those chats. Okay, we're going to require a chat ID, so let's keep it asynchronous. And then here, first of all, we need to get the messages from database. Okay, so get messages from Hive database. Okay, Hive database, like that. So what we're going to do is, let's create another method to get messages from database, and then we are going to return it here. All right, so we are going to come down here and then create that method, load the messages from DB. Okay, so this is also going to be a future method, because we want to await it up here. Okay, so future void, actually this is going to return a list of messages. Okay, list, then we have message. Okay, so here we'll say load messages from DB. All right, and then yeah, we're going also to require the chat ID. Okay, so now what is going to happen here is, we get the messages from Hive database. It's just copying from there. So first, instead of this, we need to open the box of this chat ID. Okay, so let's remove everything here. Okay, and then let's put a comment, open the box of this chat ID. Okay, so what we're going to do is await Hive dot open box, and then the box name. Okay, now the box name has to be unique. It has to come from this chat ID. So to make the unique box name, first let's go to the constants class, And then let's copy this. Let's paste it. So this one, let's name it as a chat messages box. Okay. So here we're going to say chat messages. And then let's put an underscore, okay? Because at the end here, we are always going to be putting the chat ID so that we make it unique, okay? So now, let's come back here and then call that constant, okay? So to call that, we're going to make a string, and then we put that $sign and then open the brackets. So here, let's click tab now. We want to call constant.chat messages box and then the box of that chat ID, okay? In this case, we're going to make every chat, like the list of chat, that chat ID is going to be unique to this, which is what we are going to use to call on the history here, okay? So every chat that we are going to create to be chatting with Gemini, they are going to be going in this chat ID, which this chat ID is going to have a history of its own. Once we click that, it's going to load all those messages from that chat ID and then bring them here, okay? I hope you get the point here. So once we open this box, we are wait for this box to open, and then we are going to get now the message box, okay? So let's do final message box. This is going to equal to that box, that same box that we've just opened, okay? So what we're going to do is hive dot box, and then we'll just get this same box once we've opened it, okay? So let's copy all of these, then paste it here, okay? So here we have just opened the box. Now we have gotten that box. So either way, okay, this is, I'm just doing, this is just the same of, we can just get this and then put it here, okay, like that, okay? So let's just remove this, then let's do it like this. It's still the same, okay? Now next we need to get now the new data, because we want to get all the messages in this box and put them to the messages, okay? So what we're going to do here is a message box. We're going to do message box dot keys. So we will get the keys, and then, okay, the same way that is doing here, but how we're going to do it, we are going to put it to map, and then inside here on the E, we are going to create it like that, and then we are going to get each item of that message, okay? So final message, we are going to get that message. We are going to get message box dot get that element which is there, and then in chat messages now we can add that message, but let's not add it here because this method we want to return it. We'll add on this one, okay? So we have extra brackets here. Let's close that, okay? So what we're going to do is here we are just going to get each message, okay? And then here, instead of doing this, what we want to do is to get that message data to add it to our message model, okay? So what we're going to do is to do final message, okay? Final message data. This is going to equal to message dot our from map method, okay? Our from map. Now instead of putting this to map, we need to specify it, okay? So we need to say map, and then, yeah, like Copilot was doing, like that, map string dynamic, and then we need to add this message to that, and then finally here we need to return our message, okay? We return our message data, okay? And then that's all we need to do. Now here, after we return that, because this whole thing, it requires us to return a message, so we're just going to equal this to the new data, okay? So let's do final new data is equals to that. And then, so right after we do this, first of all, we can notify the changes and then return our new data. Okay, like that. All right, great. So here, this is going to be our method to load from this chat box, get the message box, and then create a map and then add them to message model and then notify the changes and then just return this. Okay, here is not even necessary to notify because we're not adding anything here. Okay, so here, so this is what we are going to call now here. Okay, so here we're going to do final messages from db is equals to await load messages from db, and then we're going to pass that chat id. Okay, so we're going to wait for this, and then the messages that it's going to return here, which is these messages from db, and then now we're going to loop through each message of this and then put them now in the in-chat messages. Okay, so here we're going to now to run the for loop for each message in messages from db. We are going to add them here, but let's not just add them yet. What we want to do inside here is first to check the message that is already in the in-chat message. We don't want to add it to in-chat message. Okay, so we need to check if in-chat messages dot contains a message. If this message is already there, let's not add it. Okay, so we can just log here to check that this message already exists. Okay, so okay, let's remove that. We need to log with a void this developer. Okay, so this, let's put a message. So message already exists. Okay, so if the message is already there, let's not put it, let's continue, and then let's add the messages which are not there. So in the end here, let's notify the changes. Okay, so this, we are also going to use it. This is how we are going to get the history from the database. Okay, so there is our method to set in-chat messages. We are loading the data from the database. So let's move on to do the next one. So next, let's set file list. Okay, so here let's create the void methods. Okay, like that. Let's click tab. So set file list. So this is going to require a list of X file, which is images list, and then we are just going to set it. Yeah, that is correct, but maybe let's change this because I don't want this to have the same name as a getter. You can see that this getter is the same name as this. Okay, so maybe let's say images list, like that. Images list. So let's copy that and paste it there, or we can just say value or list value. Yeah, let's just have it to be unique. So here we set it like that, then we move on. So next is to set the current model. Okay, so set the current model. So let's see what the AI will come up with. Let's see. Okay, yeah, set current model is just going to get the, okay, now here we don't need a string, we just need we need a string, not a generative model. Yeah, so here we don't need to pass the generative model. Here we need a string. Okay, and then also let's return a string here. Okay, so we will set it, and then also we will return a string because we also want to use it. Okay, you will see what we mean by this. Okay, so here let's just name it as new model. like that. And then that model, let's set it to, so here we are setting the model type, not this generative model, okay? Because this generative model, it's a generative model, but the model type, where is that? Did we create? Yeah, this model type. Okay, this is a string, you can see. Okay, so now here we want to set that model type. Okay, which is going to be the new model. Then after we set that, let's also return this new model. Okay, return this. Let's just return this. Okay, return this new model, even if we set it, but let's just return what we have set, what is coming here. All right, now that's setting the model. Let's continue. Now let's also create the method that is going to set the model depending on the boolean, if we are sending the text only or not. Okay, so let's just say function to set the model based on bool is text only. Okay, so this we will check. If it is text only, we will set the model to the for text, else we will set the vision model. Okay, so this is also going to be a future, which is going to be a future void. So all of these methods, I'm just creating them for the future. We're going to use them in our send message. Okay, you will see later on. Okay, now here we're going to return the boolean, yeah, like that. So the boolean is text only. Now if it is text only here, if it is text only, we need to check the model. Okay, so this is doing a lot of things that we don't want to do. So let's remove what's inside here, and then what's inside here. Okay, so first let's see, we have removed the wrong thing. So okay, here we need to close it like that, and then let's also remove what's inside here. All right, so first of all, here we need to get that model. If that model is equal to text model, we are going to get the either we are going to set that model to text model, or so if this, not like that. Okay, if this model, we are going to set it to, if it is text only, we're going to set the model to text model. Okay, if it is text only. Else, if it is not set, if this is now, let's set it. Okay, we're going to call our generative model, and then we are going to get the model now here. Okay, so let's bring this down, and then also bring this down. So here on the model, we're going to set current model, which is going to be the Gemini Pro. Okay, so here we're going to say Gemini, it's called, yeah, Gemini Pro current model. So remember that here on this method, we are setting it to this Gemini Pro, and then we are also returning the string. So even this model now, we are setting it to the Gemini Pro because we are returning this string of Gemini Pro. Okay, now once we set it here, and the API key, we know that it comes from the API service.api key. Okay, we've already put that in there. Let's close it, and then also let's put the comma here. So that's how we set the model for the text only, and then also here. So now Copilot will know what we are doing here. Okay, so what's happening here? So it looks like it has created less brackets. Let's click tab again, and then it is fixed. Let's see what seems to be the problem here. If we close it, so the model is that, and then it's missing one thing inside the model here, which is the API key. So we have that, we have that. What's missing here? All right, let me remove this. Let's just do it from here. Okay, so we're going to check this model, or else we're going to set it to the vision model, and then we're going to create the generative model here, and then close it out. And then inside here, we know that for the model, if it's a vision, it needs to be pro.vision. Okay, don't forget that. And then you are going to get the API key the same way. Okay, so now this will be our method to set the model. Okay, now let's also, we are still in the setters here. Let's create another setter, which is a page index. Okay, we haven't set all of these. Okay, so now here let's create this set current page index. Okay, set current page index. Let's come down here. Let's just let the AI create for us. So this is our method to set the current index. That's quick. So let's also set the current ID, set current chart ID. It's just going to create really quickly. This is just the setter as usual, and then we move on. So next we're going to just set loading. Okay, let's set loading. I don't know if we have created this already on top. So yeah, we're just gonna set the loading to, this is going to be value. Okay, let's copy that and then let's paste that. Okay, I think that's it. These are the ones that we need for now. Okay, yeah. So now we can, once we have created these setters, now we can go ahead and create the send text message. But now we have already gotten much time. Let's do this method in the next video. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.